Yo, what's going on, guys? J.Yumeko here, and today we're back with some more The House in Fata Morgana. Last time we left off, things took a diversely weird turn. Well, I guess it would be more accurate to say an inversely weird turn, as the game has now taken the role of a seemingly regular visual novel dating sim. It's honestly unnerving with how non-dramatic, non-tragic, and really wholesome everything is right now. Now, of course, I don't expect that to last long. But yeah, we're kind of just going about our daily lives right now, getting closer and closer with each other. So, without further ado, let's jump right on back into it. Also, guys, I just want to remind you before we jump into the video, that'd be awesome if you could hit the subscribe button and turn on the post notifications so you can be notified when I post a new video. We're getting very close to 140 subscribers now, on the road to 150, on the even longer road to 200. But yeah, that'd be really awesome. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy. A bright future. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that one. But yeah. Okay, so I think the biggest thing of last episode is that we finally, confessed to each other. So we're both on the same page that, hey, I like you, you like me. We're a thing now, right? So. Morning. No. Afternoon. Master! Good morning. Good morning. Oh, come on. Put a little bit more oomph into it. Same Giselle as always. I must say, last night was something, Master. I didn't know you had that in you. Just thinking about it. Ow! Hey, that hurt! What was that for? I was struck with an insatiable urge to whack you. Whatever happened to your heartfelt desire to do whatever you can for me? I don't think hitting me counts. You're tough enough to get over a little bonk. You were so nice yesterday. Where did that go? I guess we got freaky with it. So, would you like to explain why you're making dirty jokes first thing in the morning? Yeah, just... I was trying to lighten the mood to hide my embarrassment. Fair enough. Alright. But could you not joke about that in the future? I didn't actually do anything to you. No, you didn't. Sorry. Say, could I ask you something? Yes? You hardly ever use my name. It makes me feel so distant. Could you do something about that, maybe? Babe? No. That is not you at all. Just go with my name, please. We've graduated from a master-servant relationship to a romantic relationship, but that is a bit much. Romantic relationship. Exactly. So, in honor of the new us, let's make this last, alright? Michael? Alright. The awkward couple phase. Gotta love it. At the time, the light that had entered our life seemed unreal and fantastical, but I prayed that it would indeed last, in hope of an equally bright future. I allowed myself to rejoice in the moment, letting the unconquered shadows that lurked in my peripheral remain unseen. No. And we're back. Blackness consumes the once colorful space. Giselle stands before me, as she did within the door, but I struggle to reconcile the two scenes. They're both real. They are both her. The lively, spunky girl of the past and the lifeless girl of the present are both Giselle. As different as they seem, they are both her. Why don't we stop here? It was a wonderful story. They overcame their troubles and they lived happily ever after. Is that not good enough? It could not be worse than we are now. All we have to do then is erase the now. Throw everything away and start over from where it was better. You were able to bear them because they weren't your tragedies. And that goes for more than just me. Actually, as a matter of fact, those words apply even better to her than me. The ending is already set in stone. It's already happened. What point is there in watching it again? All that accomplishes is making me relive it all. The ending has not been written. We're both here now, which means our end still lies ahead of us. Then, can I ask you to promise not to let go of my hand no matter what? No matter what happens, you mustn't let go of my hand. Now I understand. That was a request, even if she didn't perceive it as such. In place of a verbal response, I squeezed her hand in mine. I know where this tale is heading. Toward tragedy. All the other doors we visit ended in tragedy, and ours is no exception. But perhaps what's waiting at the end of this one is even more dire than I imagine. The door to our past swings open once more, behind which lies the end of me, and the beginning of her. I'm excited. Oh my god, flashbang. I'm in a pitch black room right now. A month had passed since the night with the rose. Right on schedule, the monthly delivery arrived, but in it was a letter that would dramatically change our lives. My father, Antonin, had fallen ill and died. I presumed it was the witch's doing, but she was silent, refusing to respond to my questions. If it wasn't her, then he must have died naturally. It seemed more than a little tasteless to celebrate someone's death, but good taste and reality do not always agree. I was extremely relieved to hear the news. The man had raped Giselle. He tried to have me killed. And now, he was gone from this world. I'd been waiting for this moment for years. His passing had another effect as well. My death could be revoked. Many years ago, my brother had told me that when he succeeded our father, he would welcome me back to the Bollinger estate, and I could be part of the family once more. Which meant this letter signaled the end of my banishment. Not sure how to feel about it? Yeah, rejoicing doesn't really seem appropriate. But this means you can return home now, right? In theory. My brother's set to take control of the estate, so he should be accommodating. I'm going to write a letter. Have them send us a carriage. It is much too long a distance to walk. All right. I'm excited. What should we do when we first get back to the capital? Ooh, I know. How about you stop by my place? My mom and sister won't believe their eyes. My time in this mansion was almost at its end. The future I had only vaguely envisioned was now within my reach. I'd always spoken of this moment predicted with eventually, like it was some kind of unobtainable fantasy. But now that it was practically reality, I realized I hadn't actually given it much thought. Hey, are you still awake? I am. Not a great night for sleeping, huh? Are you thinking about your family? It all seems so surreal.
Yeah, it does. This house is like a desert island, cut off from the world, which makes everything feel kind of like a fairy tale sometimes. Even what we have.
From time to time, I get the feeling that none of it is real, that the outside world is just a figment of my imagination, that my entire life only ever existed within these walls.
Are you nervous?
Maybe I am. I always thought that when this day arrived, it would be more cathartic. I'm sorry. I'm finally able to take you back to the capital, and I can't seem to get past my own negativity.
It's only natural to be nervous. I am too. I haven't spent nearly as long as you living in this mansion, but I know how you feel because I feel the same way. Not knowing what the future holds, it's scary. You know, I was thinking I would be okay with staying. I mean, I would love to return to the capital, and I miss my family dearly. But even if I never got to see them again, in no way would I consider myself unhappy. I honestly think I've got a pretty wonderful life.
If you're not comfortable going back to that house, and you're just saying you'll endure it for me, Giselle, there are other paths we can take. You could live with your family, or you could remain here in the mansion.
No, not at all, no. I want to. No matter where I go, you'll be there with me, Michael. It's true that I am nervous not knowing what the future holds, but not in a scared something bad might happen kind of way. It's more of a jittery, excited anxiousness. I'm confident the two of us can overcome anything, no matter what obstacles may come our way. Together, we can create an even more wonderful future. Don't worry, Michael. The future's nothing to be afraid of.
You make it sound like I'm paralyzed with fear.
But you are, aren't you? Hey now, don't give me that look.
Once again, she's the one pushing me forward. I will make sure you have a good, happy life.
Thank you.
What?
Nothing. I'm feeling kind of sentimental, thinking about how we've only got a little bit more time left here. It wasn't perfect, but it was an important part of my life.
Indeed.
Say.
Yes?
Well, I think I could handle it right now, probably.
It?
Oh, use your head, you little...
I don't follow.
How can you be so dense? I mean, you don't know, touching and so forth. You know, take the next step. I'm saying I'm feeling up for that right now. It's not proper for a woman to bring that subject up, is it? But I did kind of ask you to wait, and I feel bad leading you on for so long. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're shaking.
I'm just really emotional, that's all.
You don't need to force yourself if you're not ready. I can wait as long as you need. Besides...
Besides?
Never mind. It's fine. There's no need to rush things. You don't need to worry.
Yeah.
I wrote 2 letters. One to my brother, and one to my mother. One so Giselle could return, and one so I could be myself. To demonstrate who I was. I had to prove that I was not cursed. For failing to do that would not only bring her grief, it might become the final crack in the identity I had built up for myself. I had to convince her that I was neither demon nor angel, but a human man who had fallen in love with a human woman. However, I was too foolish to realize that the future I envisioned was nothing but a fantasy. Had I been able to grasp that, then maybe I could have taken her somewhere far away, where no one knew who we were, where things might have turned out differently.
Here we go. It's been really foggy out lately. I'd rather if we left when it was clear. It would be terrible if the coachman rolled the carriage because he couldn't see where he was going. If there wasn't so much fog, I would probably have been able to see little columns of orange evening sunlight fighting their way through the trees. But the milky white mist seemed to swallow up all the light, leaving nothing for the surrounding area. It was rather dreary weather. I wonder when they'll be here. Although, if they never do show up, that's okay too. I was finally able to return to the capital with Michael, to see my family again, and that was wonderful. It was like a dream come true. But it wouldn't disappoint me if that didn't end up happening. I didn't care where I ended up, as long as Michael was there with me. That's all that matters. I should probably close the windows. The coach isn't likely to show up at night, I don't think. I reached my hands out to shut the window, which is when I saw something wavering beyond the heavy mist. Light. And it wasn't just one. Looking closer revealed several more flickering spots. They moved up and down slowly but rhythmically. As more and more came into view, my mind began seeing them as people carrying torches. They're coming this way. Could they be escorts back to the capital? Though, what? As soon as the thought, the sure lot, popped into my head, something whizzed past my cheek. What? What was... Why? What? It was an arrow.
Giselle!
What? The arrow had flown through the window and pierced the opposite wall. Had Michael not knocked me out of the way.
Giselle, are you okay?
I'm fine. But what's going on?
Never mind that. Right now we need to run.
Wait, Michael!
Now! There's no time to talk. Stay out of sight of the windows.
Got it. He grabbed my hand and broke into a run. A relentless storm of arrows shattered through the windows we had worked so hard to open a year ago. This wasn't what we had gone through all that effort for.
Once I open the front door, run. We have to get as far away from this house as quickly as we can.
What was happening? Why did we have to run? Why were those people firing arrows at us? With the wave of questions came a wave of fear. I couldn't say anything. The sheer terror had frozen my jaw in place.
Get ready.
I nodded, squeezing his hand tight. I knew it would just be another obstacle to his safe escape, but I didn't want to let go of his hand. I was afraid that if I did, I would never be able to hold it again.
Are you alright?
I'm fine. But how? There are people out front too?
Damn it. Why?
Several arrows were sticking out of the floor before us. Beyond the door, which Michael had managed to shut almost immediately, rang a cacophony of whoosh, thump, whoosh, thump. We can't escape? Why? What's going on?
Damn it!
With a deep scowl, Michael barred the door, and all the while the arrows kept flying. The panic in the air kept growing thicker. I don't understand. How did they... only a handful of people even know about this This is all my fault. It's because I told the villagers about this place. They think a demon lives here, not a human. So they're here to tear down the house. They made weapons, bows, just for this.
I don't...
Ah! There was a deep rumble, and the ground before us shook. I almost fell to the floor.
They're trying to break down the door, it seems.
Michael, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. Because of what I did.
No.
What?
It's not your fault. It's mine.
Michael?
I challenged her, and because I did, she made my curse real.
What are you talking about, Michael?
This way! Run!
Michael dragged me through the mansion's corridors until we reached the chamber with a stained glass window. At the far end of the room sat a small door. Where does it lead? I had been aware of the door's presence, but I'd never gone inside it. Something about it seemed somewhat different than the rest of the house. I wasn't sure how to describe it exactly, but it felt like shadows had taken root here.
The observation tower.
The tower, but if we go up there, we're putting ourselves in a corner.
It doesn't matter where we go, they have us trapped. But there's a chance that up there...
He didn't finish that thought, however. He opened the door leading me into the tower, his face deathly pale.
And here we are again.
We started running again, around and around the spiral staircase, making our way toward the top. In regular intervals along the wall were rectangular windows. A layer of fog still lay thick across the land. Peering out into it made me feel like we had been thrown into a dream world. If it weren't for the orange spots of torchlight surrounding the mansion. The silhouettes holding torches. Is that armor? Appeared to be knights. Michael, tell me, why do you think this is your fault? What is your curse? Your curse? It isn't just the color of your hair and eyes, is it? There's more to it, isn't there? There's something else, isn't there? Michael's gaze was firmly directed forward as he frantically led me up the stairs. We were breathing hard, and the sound of it echoed against the tower's stone walls. Our panicked hearts were beating so hard, I was afraid they might be able to hear it outside. Eventually, we made our way to the top. A pile of discarded rope lay unceremoniously at the foot of the door, presumably once used to seal it shut. The door itself was deeply weathered and rotting in places. It had obviously been left sitting in disrepair even longer than Michael had lived here. What is this?
Inside!
Frigid air nipped at my skin, and it wasn't a pleasant, refreshing kind of cool, but a bitter, oppressive cold. This room felt unlike anything else in the mansion. This is an observation tower. You can't even...
There once would have been windows allowing you to see in all directions around the mansion, but all that remains now is that tiny opening near the ceiling. If we hide out here, then there's a chance they might not find us.
Ah!
It sounds like they broke down the door. Don't worry, they won't find us. And when they give up on their search, then we can get out of here. I'm sure it'll all turn out all right.
Michael's voice was quivering, as was his hand in mine. Michael... We huddled together, feeling each other's warmth in our arms. My free hand clenched his shirt for dear life.
I'm sorry.
What?
I'm to blame for this. It's my fault you're in this mess. The pain you had to experience, your being sent to this place, and what's happening now can all be traced back to my being born.
I'm so sorry. Why was he apologizing? Why did he insist that this was his fault? Why wouldn't he tell me what his curse was? Why were people trying to kill us? Right, those people were trying to kill us. Putting it into words like that made the fear that much more real. The arrows they fired weren't threats. They meant to kill us. Michael. But with Michael trembling in my arms, I couldn't bring myself to ask those questions. What meaning would those answers even have with death lurking so close behind us? All I could do was pray. Pray that he was right, that they wouldn't find us and that we'd be able to escape. However...
Over here, there's a door and stairs leading up.
My hopes were shattered by the sound of voices from below. I could hear a faint clanking of armor. Our grips on each other tightened, and our trembling intensified. Fear swelled within the tower, making us its slaves.
Giselle.
We were both terrified. And who wouldn't be? Fairy tale heroes could be magically courageous in the face of overwhelming danger, but they weren't real. The fear of my impending death, drawing nearer and nearer with each passing moment, almost drove me to madness. I couldn't think clearly. My heart was having so much trouble keeping up. My head was a big white mess. We were supposed to return to the capital, start a new life, finally obtain our happiness. It was right there at our fingertips. Enough happiness to make up for Michael's 10 years of isolation, and enough to erase that nightmare from my memory forever. What had we done to have that taken away from us? We just loved each other and wanted a quiet life together. Nothing outrageous. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die! But what scared me the most was being separated from Michael. Hey, Michael, what are those people really doing here? If what they're after is money or valuables, we can offer them everything in the mansion. We don't need any of it. If they don't want us to return to the capital, we can still tell them that we'll stay here. They might be willing to talk it over. I don't care if I lose everything else. As long as I have you, I can survive anywhere. All that mattered was that we had our lives, so long as the two of us still breathed. But...
Death! Death to the unholy one! Death to the heretic! Death to the witch!
Despair hung over us like the fog outside. There were no heretics, no witches, no unholy ones here, but they would probably never listen to us. The moment we stepped outside of this room, we would be dead, no matter what we said. Michael, I'm all right. It's okay, Michael. I'm not scared. You're here with me after all. I'm fine. It's all fine. So please, hold me until it's all over. Please stay with me.
Finally you speak.
Michael? He wasn't looking at me, though. His unfocused eyes were directed upward, not toward any particular point, but wandering aimlessly. His purplish lips appeared to move, as though he was speaking, but no sound came out. Hey, Michael, are you alright? Come back to me, Michael! I grabbed him by the shoulders and shook, but he didn't even seem to notice. No matter how many times I called to him, he didn't look down from the emptiness above. Michael!
Giselle.
Finally, after far too long, his gaze slid down to meet mine. He looked defeated, exhausted, and cornered all at once. I was scared too, but his fear seemed to have consumed him entirely.
Please hear me out, Giselle. I never thought anything good would become of my life. I never thought I would find anyone who truly understood me, who would be happy to have my love. And for that, I hated the world. I was in constant torment, living in the shadows. But then, a single ray of light shone down on me.
Michael.
You, Giselle. You delivered me from the darkness.
I'm scared.
I'm scared, Giselle. I'm terrified. I used to think my life was meaningless, that it didn't matter if I lived or died. But now I can't stop shaking.
That's perfectly normal. I'm scared to death too, but
what scares me the most is losing you.
But, Michael... I should have noticed. Noticed his arms were tensing up. Noticed and stopped him.
So please allow me to repay you. I said I would do anything for you, so let me do this. I haven't given you anything. I haven't done anything for you. So give me one final chance.
Michael! What are you doing? Get back in here, Michael! What? Why? The door! I can't open it! I shoved on the door, trying to go after him, but it wouldn't even budge in the slightest. It was as though there had never been a door there at all, merely a wall disguised as one. It wasn't someone holding it shut from the other side either. I pushed and I pulled with all my might, but I couldn't even manage to eke the tiniest crack. Michael! Michael! What did you do to the door? Come on, get back in here! I don't want to lose you either. Say something, Michael! You're out there, aren't you? Please don't do anything rash. They're going to kill you if you're out there.
Giselle, the witch told me.
What?
That she would ensure your safety.
Michael, she isn't real. There is no witch talking to you. It's all in your head. A figment of your imagination created to alleviate your loneliness.
Rest assured, she does not lie.
Michael!
Please listen. You are a wonderful woman, Giselle. Spirited, true to yourself, deeply sympathetic. You are not to blame for how difficult your life has been. Most of the fault lies with me and a bit of bad fortune. That's all behind you now. Once this is over, you can start anew.
What are you talking about?
So, survive. Live a good, fulfilling life. Move past this. Live your life and always love your family. I know you can do it. That is my wish for you.
No, I don't want that. I want to be with you. No one else but you.
I don't want to let you die. There it is. Death to the heretic. Death to the heretic. Death to the heretic.
Get back in here, Michael. Open the door. If my choice is to live on without you, I'd rather.
Your scars will heal. You'll find a nice man and have a wonderful family.
Why?
Thank you, Giselle, for bringing light to my world.
Don't say that.
But if there is a next life, I hope you don't mind if I pray that we're able to meet again. That we can find each other once more in another world.
Michael!
Michael. It is our holy duty as knights of the church to deliver punishment unto the heathen who made a pact with the devil.
Come on, Michael, open the door.
You are sentenced to death, your body to be hanged upon the cross for 3 days and 3 nights, wherein your unholy flesh shall be purified by the fires of heaven. Why? What are you doing here?
Open the door, Michael, please. Listen to me. You can't hear me out there, can't you?
You shall now be executed. Do you have any final words? Who is it you're sentencing to death? Michael Bollinger? Or a demon child, naturally? Or a witch, perhaps?
Please open the door. Why would you open it? He isn't unholy or impure. He's a perfectly normal human and a very sweet man. I'm the witch. The witch is in here. I'm the one you want to execute. Kill me. Execute me.
Now I see, Giselle. this world. Kill him! So many blades pierced my flesh. A sword in my chest, lances in my arms and shoulders, arrows in both of my legs. I could hardly even tell what hurt anymore. There was an unpleasant hiss sound in the tower, almost like a heavy rain. It was a sound of my blood spilling onto the stone. Red. It was red, just like anyone else's blood. It didn't flow into unnatural patterns. It didn't turn into black, demonic shadows. It didn't cause anyone who touched it harm. It was just ordinary, red blood. Regardless, this body was probably still cursed. It had to be. I couldn't hear Giselle's voice anymore. I hoped she was safe and alive. I prayed that at least she would be protected, that the witch would keep her promise. It was getting dark. Light was quickly departing from my world. Darkness everlasting, dragging me down into its pits. I believed in you.
Michael? Michael! Hey, say something! Talk to me! Hey, what's going on? What's going on out there? No, this can't be happening. An impossibly heavy thud came from beyond the door, and with it, Michael fell silent. Then, intermittent squelching sounds as something slid down the door. No, this can't be. Why? I pounded on the door with all my strength, but still it refused to give. The skin on my hands eventually going raw and beginning to seep with blood. Why? Why could Michael have to be killed? Tell me why. Take me with you. Please, don't leave me behind. That man isn't a witch. He isn't cursed. I'm cursed, not him. So don't hang him. Don't humiliate him like that. Kill me instead. Please. Again and again I pounded on the door, but the self-described knights on the other side seemed to not even be aware of my presence. They seemed unable to hear my cries. Their armor clanking with each step, they began to descend the staircase, and with it, I could hear the sound of something being dragged slowly across the floor. No, don't take him away. Stop! Don't take Michael away from me. I'm begging you. But my pleas were in vain. My hope was for naught. The knights took him away. Took him somewhere out of my reach. For all eternity. Don't take him away from me! Michael. After much too long, the door swung open on its own. It happened so unceremoniously, it was hard to believe I'd actually been trapped inside. I had no idea how much time had passed, but the chill in the air suggested it was deep into the night, and with the biting cold, there was the stench of blood. Why? Michael! I never wanted this. You didn't understand at all, Michael. You didn't know the depth of my feelings for you. You didn't know how intensely I wanted you. How fervently I loved you. I was never going to be able to find someone else and live happily with them. It had to be you. The thought of anyone else touching me terrified me. You didn't understand. I don't want to live in this stupid world. The time I spent with you truly was the happiest time of my life.
Jesus Christ. Well, folks, there's your tragedy. So, I do want to draw some parallels, obviously, because in the initial telling of this whole little fiasco, for one, in the original telling, it was a thing where he thought she died by his cursed touch, so he went out there and took down a bunch of them with him with his blood and everything. Oh my god, excuse me. So he goes out there, this final stand, right? But then it turns out that she's immune and basically left alone. So in this one, it's semi-similar. Except obviously his final stand isn't much of a stand and is more so just him pretty much giving himself up for the slaughter. So it is kind of interesting though, because the maid, as she's the one supposedly retelling this story, initially having retold the story, seemed to kind of make out Michael's death as this very heroic act that ended in, again, this still tragic, but a little bit more, repeatedly, heroic manner. So it's kind of interesting how, even though she kind of wanted to deny her involvement in that and her place in that, actually being there and experiencing the actual events that happened, she kind of put this twist on it to make his death more heroic and not end in him being slaughtered, dragged off, stuck up on a cross for all to see. So yeah.
I remember everything now. You died on that day. You were killed. You disappeared from this world and left me behind.
That's right. I remember. I remember the pain, the agony of death, and the fear. I did indeed die that day.
You refused to listen to me. Do you have any idea how it felt to feel you dying from the other side of that door?
Giselle,
I wanted you to take me with you. Is this what you wanted to see?
My memories, the traces of my life on this earth, and there. In order to find your truth, we need more of the story.
Very well then. If you want more story, I will tell you more. What comes next is both a continuation and a brand new tale. The Maid's Tale. When you've heard it all, I expect you to commend me for not forgetting how to smile.
Okay. We haven't completely cut through the darkness yet. An arctic wind blows past me. At the same time, I'm gripped with an overwhelming urge to break down into tears. Perhaps this is the solitude she felt for so long. I have to face this. I have a responsibility to her to do so. And I have to atone for being such a misguided fool all those many years ago, convinced what I was doing was best. Alright. Complete chapter 5, The Moonlight's Spell. The 6th door. 1099 to something. An unknown time.
This is my tale, the Maid's Tale. A tale of a foolish, naive girl Looking back on it now, I'm ashamed of everything. But I will tell you my story in its entirety, without embellishments. I ask that you please not let go of my hand. The only thing the knights left behind were a garment and a large pool of your blood. Blood had seeped into the fabric, and it was beginning to dry. When I clenched it into my hand, it made a soft crackling sound. The oppressive stench of death lingered in the tower. Michael, there's no point in life without you. You know that, right? I have a wonderful family. You know I can't do that. Hey, Michael, answer me. Come back to me. I don't care if it's as a ghost. I just need you here with me. Come back to me. Talk to me about nothing and about everything. Be irritated with me when I do something stupid. Scoff at me whenever I tell a bad joke. Jounce me at chess again. Put your arms around me. One more time. Come on. I'm begging you. If you won't come back to me, then I'll go to you. I don't care if that's not what you wanted from me. This world without you is meaningless. Dying won't guarantee you see him again. He spends all his time refusing to talk to me, and when he finally does, he begs me to save his love. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Rather disappointed, to be honest. Who are you? Where are you? Quite daft, aren't you? Within these walls, I am everywhere, and you've heard of me before. What? I have no... Heavens, you are slow. Is that pretty little head of yours only for decoration? What? But no, there's no one else. You might be thicker than these walls, my dear. Although, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. You never did believe anything Michael said about me. You thought he was going mad. This is brilliant. No, there's no way. It can't be. The cursed witch, Morgana. Oh, you even know my name, do you? It would appear my legend has survived longer than I expected. I suppose I should thank all the humans who passed it down for me. You actually exist. I most certainly do, my dear. As I recall, you don't believe in the supernatural, do you? But it's hard to deny that when that very witch is talking to you right this moment. Michael was not even slightly mad, my dear. I told him he was better off without his sanity, but he refused to listen. He wasn't deranged. His surroundings were. His environment, the people around him, his whole world. Can you imagine how dreadful that must have been? To be the only sane resident in a world gone utterly mad. And it's a miracle he managed to keep his head. Remember what he said to you just before he died, my dear? You said it was all in his head. You said that he couldn't tell the difference between illusion and reality. You said he had long since gone insane. Shouted at the top of your lungs. No, that's not what I meant. Ah, poor Michael. If only you had believed him about the witch. I feel bad for you too, though. You have my pity. What did you ever do to deserve this? Oh, and just to be perfectly clear, I played no part in either you or Michael's misfortune. The only force to blame for that is fate. You were a good, honest, joyful, lovable woman. And look at how the world treated you. May I ask you something? What is it? Was it you who sealed me in the tower? Yes, it was. That was what Michael wanted. Once, I told him I would grant his wish. So I did as he asked. Though it does look like that ended up causing you even more pain. How tragic. So, you're planning to die? Are you hoping to reunite with him in heaven? That plan's destined to fail from the outset, my dear. God teaches that suicide is a sin and you'll go to hell for it. Then, I will not kill you. Why not?
because I swore to Michael that I would save your life. Poor Giselle. If you have any other wish, I'll be happy to grant it. I can't bear to see you so miserable. A wish? You have but a single desire right now, to see him once more. Isn't that right, Giselle? Are you saying you can make that happen? You'll bring him back to life for me? The forces of life and death are outside my realm. That is God's territory, or the angels. However, I can guarantee you this. His reconstruction. His reconstruction? Yes, you can meet him again. Not in this life, but in some future life. Just imagine it. Finding your beloved again after overcoming so much tragedy. 10, 20, maybe 100 long years from now, you're finally reunited. Doesn't that sound marvelous? True, unparalleled love in its purest form. What do you think? Just because you can bring his soul back doesn't make it Michael. I want to be with him. That brusque, impenetrable, slightly immature, but gentle as a butterfly man. The man who sincerely, deeply loved me. If it's the same soul in a different body, can you still call him my Michael? My apologies. You beat me to the punchline, and you did so with such ardor that you threw me off balance. You're exactly right. The idea that, if your love is strong enough, you can both be reborn and have exactly the same relationship is utter fairy tale nonsense. You must be the same people to have the same love, which is why I'm not promising his rebirth or reincarnation, but his reconstruction. Your wish can become reality, Giselle. As long as you wish for it with all your heart, it can come true. I'll wish for his reconstruction as well. You'll have a witch asking to make this happen, my dear, so you can be confident that it will bear fruit. And you wish for him to remain as himself. If he truly loves you, and he too wishes to reunite with you, your wish will be granted. Will you really wish with me? I most certainly will, my poor, pitiful dear Giselle. I shall offer up my most heartfelt prayers for you. I'll wish for it. Until the moment of my death, I'll keep wishing for us to be reunited as the same people. I can't guarantee your reconstruction, though. What? I only said I guaranteed his. Michael's is the only reconstruction I will wish for. I will not ask for yours. Why not? You're not looking at a benevolent, wish-granting goddess or an angel with a magic bow and arrow. You're looking at a cursed witch. Then how am I to be with him again? I can offer you but one option that will allow you to reunite with your reconstructed Michael. Tell me, what do I have to do? You must live here with me. Live with you? What do you mean? It was Michael who resurrected me, but he cannot serve as my guide. I have work to do, but I cannot do it alone. I need a guide to assist me, because as you can see, I have no body. If this house did not exist in this world, then perhaps I might be able to give myself form. My soul's form. I don't understand anything you're saying. You don't need to understand. All I need from you is for you to show your utmost hospitality to the people I'm expecting to show up at this mansion someday. Entertain your guests. That's right, my dear. Michael isn't the only one whose reconstruction I'm wishing for. There are others. Several heinous sinners. So I want you to serve as a maid and watch over them when they arrive. Until then, keep the house in good condition. What are you scheming? Is that something you truly need to know, my dear? All you need to do is wish. Pray for the day your beloved appears before you again. For the day he wraps his arms around you once more. One word, Giselle. That's all I require. Do you want to see him again?
Do you want to hear his voice again? I can promise you you'll have your happiness back. What reason is there to hesitate? There isn't one. Or are you simply going to give up? I wonder, what would happen if you said no? If you disappear from this world, how will Michael react when he comes back? Will he be sad, angry, or will he forget about you and fall into the arms of another woman? No, he can't! Then make up your mind. Will you come with me or will you throw it all away? If I'd given it a little more thought, I would have realized she was manipulating me. That she was just telling me what I wanted to hear. But I believed her. I accepted her proposition. As unbelievable as it sounded, my desire for it to be real overpowered everything. It was impossible not to grasp at the straws she was dangling in front of me. That was all I could do at the time. The witch's voice also had an inexplicable power to it. It made me believe, as outrageous as it was, that she really could bring you back, reconstruct you. Maybe because I had seen her turn a door into an immovable wall, or maybe because I had heard her disembodied voice, but I don't think those were enough to explain it. My guess is, she had me under her spell. That was the moment I became the maid. But I assure you, I was at that point still the same Giselle you knew and loved.
Damn. Holy shit, a lot of shit just happened.
The sound of the rain never seems to stop. Am I hallucinating it, maybe?
We're gonna stop it there. That's a beautiful place to stop. Holy guacamole. Alright, let's see here. Let's go back. Okay, so we gone ahead and saved. Return to the entrance. Oh my god. Okay. So we've finally, after so much time, gotten to this unavoidable dramatic turning point in which tragedy has struck. Damn. So, in the maid's initial telling of the story, she kind of insinuated that, that she, as the maid, was the witch. Or something along those lines. I kind of forget. It's been a little while now, obviously. But it was slightly different, the witch's appearance before Giselle, who at that time was being told as the white-haired girl. So that was a slightly different twist on it, obviously. But the most blaring thing about this is that she mentioned that she wanted to gain her form back, or at least gain a form. But we don't exactly know what that form is. We don't know if she's obtained it yet. We don't know what's going on with that. Additionally, it's not really that much of a stretch to believe that obviously she was made to stay in the mansion. But it does seem that throughout these stories, and presumably throughout the years, she kept her same appearance, or at least an appearance similar. Obviously, of that being, the black-haired maid. So that was, and I'm pretty sure that was a part of the deal they made, something like that. I think, oh yeah, that's what it was. It was that, Michael's going to be reconstructed and look like himself. You, though, I'm only going to do that for you if you stick around and act as my maid and just, accept the guest in. So that's what that is. So that finally pieces that together. That pieces together who the hell the black-haired maid is. It's Giselle. And why the fuck she's present throughout all this shit. Which is, of course, because she was working with the witch. So yeah, very, very interesting. And it does also kind of explain why in some of the cases, because this was a question I brought up a while ago, it does also kind of explain why it seemed that the black-haired maid in past stories sometimes played a bit of an antagonistic role, right? She was kind of conveniently popping in and out at certain times. And it was obviously very strange. And so at the time I was kind of questioning, like, why does she have this sometimes antagonistic role? You know, it seems like she kind of spurs some of these events on. So that would explain that. Because obviously, like Morgana said, she was waiting for sinful heretics or something along those lines to come into the mansion, those souls to come into the mansion. And so it is kind of interesting because now that obviously brings up another question. A lot of other questions have been answered, but now my biggest question is, why were they sinful heretics? You know, like, why does she seem to have it out for these specific people? The flaxen-haired boy, the fucking Paula, whatever her name is, and the traveling merchant, right? Because that was the first, and I mean, there was a fucking shit ton of stories that were told inside this fucking manor. So we've had this is on our 6th door. But you basically get my point, right? She seems to have an agenda, and I want to know what that is. But we're going to have to see if we can find that out in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on the video and tell me in the comment section below what you'd like to see me play next. I always enjoy taking recommendations. If you enjoyed this video or any other videos or series on my channel, then I highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when one of those videos comes out. Anyways, that's it from me, and I'll see you in the next one.